Hello everyone, and welcome back to Turkish series stars. I'm thrilled you're here because what I'm about to tell you will get your heart racing. You saw the title, so you already know we're diving into the names everyone is whispering about, Gawkberg, Yilderim and Semer Arda. Yes, we have fresh, carefully sourced details about what 2025 could hold for them, and the picture forming behind the scenes is as bold as it is emotional. If you adore these two, or simply love being first in line for the juiciest developments in the industry, stay with me until the end. You won't want to miss a single turn in this story. And quickly, before we get to the fireworks, if you haven't yet, subscribe to Turkish series stars and turn on notifications. It's free, it helps the channel grow, and it guarantees you never miss any of the exclusive updates we prepare with so much care. Let's talk about what everyone has been waiting for. The possibility that 2025 becomes a defining year for Gawkberg, Yilderim and Semer Arda. Their on-screen connection once felt like a live wire crackling right through the screen, and the memory of that electricity hasn't faded. Time has moved on, careers have evolved, the tide has gone out and come back in again. But whispers have grown into full-bodied rumors, and if even half of what has been floating around is true, we're on the verge of a new chapter. We've spent weeks following breadcrumbs, comparing insider hints, and reading between the lines of public appearances. What's surfacing is a plan that could pivot both of their careers, not away from who they are, but deeper into it. Let's unpack it piece by piece. First up, Semer Arda. The elegance, the poise, the capability to anchor a scene without overstating a single beat, Semer's presence is not just star quality, it's star gravity. Her feed remains a masterclass in style, with looks that travel across continents in minutes. But beneath the glamour, there's been a quieter movement. Meetings that never get photographed. Script pages that don't leave rooms. Conversations at hours when the city has gone to sleep. The word from those close enough to feel the heat is that an international project is in advanced talks. Not just a cameo. Not a surface-level dip. A role that may require her to stretch in a direction we have yet to see, guided by a script that finds the vulnerabilities behind the polish, and a production strong enough to place her squarely on the global stage. What shape might that project take? The strongest indications point toward a major feature film or a high-end series for a worldwide platform. Yes, the scale is that big. There's a road here that could run through the festival circuit, maybe even brush up against the red carpets we all dream about. The kind of project that isn't merely a credit, but a statement about the work she wants to do and the roles she wants to own. Parallel to that, there is movement from luxury brands outside Turkey eager to make her the face of campaigns with serious reach. That combination, cinema and fashion, puts her at a crossroads of influence that is rare and incredibly powerful. Whether she opts to collaborate with a design team or even put her name on a capsule collection, the momentum is unmistakable. In 2025, the path in front of Cemre isn't just bright, it's international in capital letters. Now let's turn to Gawkberg Yilderim. He's always had that mix of kinetic energy and quiet craft, the kind that doesn't shout for attention yet commands it anyway. While the mainstream remembers him for roles that made him a household name, insiders have been watching another lane forming. Word is, he has become increasingly drawn to scripts that ask harder questions, stories framed not by easy answers but by moral fog. In the strongest rumor making the rounds, he's zeroing in on an independent film helmed by a director with a reputation for fearless, visually driven storytelling. The character put on the table isn't typical leading man territory, think layers, contradictions, a mind at war with itself. It's the sort of role that can change the way an audience sees an actor, the kind that travels from a small screening room to a standing ovation halfway across the world. There's more. Those in the know say he's been spending time on the other side of the lens. Not for vanity, but for curiosity, the kind that makes you ask, how do you shape a scene from scratch? How do you carve intention from chaos? He's been shadowing editors, asking cinematographers about light, picking apart story structures with screenwriters. It's not a PR line when I tell you 2025 could be the first year we catch his name in credits where we don't usually see it. Whether that means directing a short or co-writing his first feature-length script, the doors are opening. And when you add that to an actor in pursuit of roles with bite, you begin to see the outline of an artist in full evolution. Here's where sparks meet dry tinder, the growing murmur that Cemre and Gawkberg could share a set again in 2025. Not a nostalgia cameo, not a photo shoot, but a real project with scenes that demand their full range. We've heard of a series of low-profile meetings, Zoom calls with creative teams, and calendar juggling that points to something more than coincidence. The language from people orbiting both camps is cautious but unmistakable. Conversations are happening. One source put it like this: no wild promises, but everyone is taking the idea seriously enough to keep returning to the table. Why is this potential collaboration triggering such a storm of anticipation? You already know the answer. Their chemistry did not need to be sold, it simply existed. It's in the way a glance lands, in a pause between lines that suddenly means everything. It's a rare alchemy, and it's why fans are still writing about them years later. Whatever has unfolded in their private lives is their own, but when it comes to the work, there's a gravitational pull that's hard to ignore. Art has a habit of pulling people into the same orbit when the story is right. And the sense, right now, is that a story might be forming that needs both of them. What would this mean for each of them? For Cemre, it could be the bridge connecting the audience that first fell for her with the wider world now within reach. It's strategic, yes, but it's also heartfelt, a way to ground an international leap in a collaboration that feels like home. For Gawkberg, pairing his deepening artistic appetite with a high-visibility project could be a sweet spot: recognition without repetition, scale without compromise. Think of the balance: one eye on Cannes, one eye on the set where it all begins, amid the cables and coffee breaks and the quiet thrill of a scene nailed on the third take. As for the project itself, the paths are many. An adaptation of a novel that already has a devoted readership. An original screenplay from a writer known for sculpting characters who bruise and heal on screen. A story with stakes that are human-sized but emotionally seismic. A sequel to old work feels less likely, though not impossible. The appetite from platforms and producers is there. You can almost hear the phones ringing. If they say yes, the rollout writes itself: first look stills, a teaser that explodes across timelines, interviews that immediately trend. In an industry that survives on momentum, this would be the wave everyone tries to catch. The veil of secrecy is, of course, part of the game. Nobody is confirming genre or director or shooting schedule, and we wouldn't expect them to. But what we can say with confidence is that both sides are open, listening, and carefully weighing the timing. We've seen them at a couple of public events exchanging an easy hello that looked warm, relaxed, and decidedly unforced. The camera angles were long, the clips brief, but they told a story. If the right script comes along, there is room to talk. More importantly, this isn't about replaying the past like a greatest hits album. It's about trusting what they can build now, with the craft and assurance they didn't have the first time around. Imagine the possibilities. A romantic drama that breathes rather than shouts, where longing is a slow burn you feel in your chest. A smart, sparkling comedy where wordplay runs fast and their timing clicks like a lock opening. Or a psychological thriller in which the two occupy opposite ends of a moral maze, meeting only in moments heavy with subtext. Their dynamic can hold all of that. If you watched their earlier work and felt a spark, you know they have the range to thread tenderness, danger, and wit into the same scene. While this shared path tempts the imagination, both are also building forward on their own. On Semra's side, the strongest chatter points to a streaming giant, think Netflix or Amazon, positioning a prestige project around her. It's not just a matter of audience size, it's the right team, the right director, the right narrative spine. People respond to her because she broadcasts sincerity even when she's playing someone guarded. That's lightning in a bottle for a global platform hungry for faces that connect in any language. Tie that to her fashion power, and the end result is visibility few can match. 2025 may be the year we see her enter rooms she used to only watch on screen. Meanwhile, Gawkberg has been aligning himself with filmmakers who treat cinema as an inquiry rather than a product. He's been lending his name to shorts, giving breathing room to small but potent stories, and collecting experiences likely to feed into a larger directorial vision later. Watch the pattern and you'll see it, trusting projects that value point of view, stepping into roles that aren't shiny but are truthful. It's the sort of career shaping that doesn't always make headlines in the moment, but when it pays off, it does so all at once. If the independent feature we've been hearing about locks in, don't be surprised if festival programmers come calling. So here we arrive at the million-dollar question. What does 2025 really hold for Cemre, Arda and Gawkberg Yilderim, and how likely is this much-whispered reunion? While nobody has put ink to paper in our presence, the rhythm of events suggests something is in motion. Both stand at an inflection point, ambitious, careful, surrounded by teams who know how to time a move. With fans as loyal and engaged as theirs, the stage is set for a year of big swings. And yes, the prospect of a joint project feels like the headline everyone is aching to read. Even if it remains under wraps for a while, the contour is there, like a figure behind a curtain waiting for the lights to come up. That's everything we can responsibly share today, and you know we never play fast and loose with our sources. We work to bring you the freshest, most credible updates, and this one has us buzzing. The anticipation building around what 2025 could deliver for Cemre and Gawkberg is very real, and the idea of seeing them side by side again is the spark that keeps the conversation alive. As always, Turkish series stars will be watching, listening, and ready to bring you every twist as it lands. If a deal gets inked, you'll hear it here before the echo even dies. To wrap it up in one breath, Cemre looks poised for an international leap that could include a prestige platform project and luxury brand partnerships that amplify her influence beyond borders. Gawkberg is driving toward deeper, riskier performances and eyeing the craft of directing or co-writing with a seriousness that suggests he's preparing to surprise us. And the wild card, the one setting timelines on fire, is the rising possibility of a shared project that reunites their chemistry in a fresh, grown-up story. If that happens, it won't just be a release, it will be an event. The future ahead of them glows, and 2025, whether in separate lanes or a shared frame, is shaping up to be unforgettable. Thank you for staying with me until the end of this deep dive. I want to hear everything you're imagining right now. Would you like to see Semer, Arda and Gawkberg Yilderim back together on screen? What kind of story do you think would explode with their energy, romance, comedy, or something darker? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all and love how sharp and passionate this community is. If you enjoyed today's video, please give it a like, share it with your friends who live for this kind of tea, and don't forget to subscribe to Turkish series stars and ring that bell. The moment we know more, you'll be the first to know. Until then, keep your eyes open and your expectations high. The stage is set, and the next act could begin any minute.